Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Murdo Todd. I am delighted to be joined by Cage Warriors Flyweight champion Shaj Haque. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. So you're back in action later this month, July 29th. How's things going for it? All going good?
Yeah, it's going really good. I'm super excited. Since the last fight, I feel like I've come on leaps and bounds, so I'm really excited to see what I can do this time.
And you'll be taking on Michele Martignoni. Talk to me a little bit about the threats he brings and kind of what we can expect.
Um, let's where should I start? I'd say for the main threats that I feel in this fight is that he's obviously coming down in weight division, so he'll have a bit of size on him. He's gonna have a lot of heart, surely, because it's in his hometown. So I feel like he's got the hometown advantage in that way. Obviously, it's in Italy, and I see he has a lot of support over there. So I feel like those are his main advantages. I think he's going to be bigger than me, but I don't really think he's going to have too much of a strength advantage. I think people underestimate my strength. I think I'm quite small for the division. And then they get in the cage with me and they suddenly realize, oh, he's not so easy to take down. He's not so easy to push about. He actually punches harder than they think I do. He gets hit with a jab and be like, oh, I didn't expect that jab to be so fast. So I think if he's going to come down and realize that he doesn't have the advantages that he thinks he's going to have. So I'm excited to see what he brings, but I feel like I've got far more skills than he has.
And as you mentioned, it's going to be in his backyard in Rome. Is that something that you were happy with, or does it not really bother you being the away fighter, even though you're the champion?
One of the things I love about fighting is traveling. So I think, although yes, he has the advantage, but I enjoy traveling. So it's something I look forward to. It gives me something to look forward to, rather than just fighting in the UK all the time. So I've never been to Rome, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like over there. And enjoying the trip. I just love the process of fighting. I know a lot of people stress about it. When you're not having to cut stupid amounts of weight, you can kind of enjoy the process. So I look forward to it. I look forward to fight week. A lot of guys will be like, "Oh, I've got to cut weight and fight week." But I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I feel like that week where I get a rest, not have to train so hard, and I'm really looking forward to the trip.
And what's the feeling like at the moment? It's your first title defense. Is there a bit of an atmosphere? Are you a bit more motivated? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm super motivated. I feel like this. I feel just as motivated as I did when I won that title. I feel like I just want to. I want to prove to the world that I should be in the UFC. And that's what's still driving me. I want to get the attention. So I'm coming to this fight with a point to prove that I am far ahead of this competition. All these flyweights, they're not on my level. I need to go to the UFC.
And you've been around for some time now. Did it feel like hard work paid off?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like you've been around the scene for so long. You fought in Cage Warriors for some time. You've got nine Cage Warriors fights. You've done the hard route. Does it feel like when you became champion, hard work paid off?
Yeah, I've said it before. Becoming the champion, it felt a little bit like I was very frustrated, and it didn't. It felt great. Obviously, I was super happy, but I felt like it came. I had to work far harder than I think I should have. I literally cleared the division before I got the title. Hence, I was fighting someone that I'd already beat. So I felt like it was way overdue. And now I just feel like I've just got to just constantly just keep pushing through and just keep proving that I'm the best fighter, best flyweight that there is. And to get my shot. I feel it drives me as well, but it's also frustrating that I'm having to work extra hard. But it's a part of the game, and I do enjoy fighting in itself. So I'd probably still fight even if I didn't get these big shots. I just want to enjoy my career while it's still yeah.
Yeah, I know, some people when they achieve something such, like yourself, something so big, they maybe kind of struggle on what they're going to do next, what's the next steps, keeping that motivation. But what have these past months been like for you? Is it worn off yet? The buzz?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it never wears off. You always just enjoy it. I guess I've learned how to enjoy just the process of it all. But yes, it was a lot of hype. I got lots of new followers and loads of nice messages from so many people. I've had such great support since winning that title, and I've just been enjoying it. But I haven't let my motivation slide. I've enjoyed it while it was there, but I've still been training. I haven't stopped training. I always train. I train because I enjoy the sport. I don't just train just to fight. I train to be the best martial artist I can be. So I'm always pretty motivated to keep improving my skill set. And this fight, I feel like I've gained lots more skills in that time. I've worked with my coaches to make sure that I'm a better fighter this time going in. And some people say, some people are like, oh, you're getting a bit older, but I feel like I'm getting a lot better. I feel like this is me at my, I feel like my prime's still to come. I feel like I keep thinking I've hit my best, and I feel like I'm always surpassing it. I feel, lately I've surpassed a lot of my strength targets that I did with my S&C coach. I feel stronger than I've done before, than I've been before, and I'm feeling a bit faster as well. So I'm super excited to see how I perform this time. I'm
And I know
excited to
you.
watch myself.
I know you spend a lot of time coaching. How do you balance that with your own training?
Yeah, I feel like it's a skill that I've picked up over the years. My guys are really good. They help me, they help me run the gym as well as help me coach. And when I coach them, they also help me get ready for fights. So we found like a balance between it. I teach certain classes that I'll teach and train at the same time. I teach a lot of my guys the things that I'm doing as well. And it shows in their performances as well. They're all getting better. My amateur team, there's a lot of them are going to be looking to turn pro soon. So the momentum in the gym is really good. We've got Sammy going to be defending one of his belts, the FCC belt soon. Aaron's just won the GTFP belt. Hopefully, Sean's going to be defending or winning, fighting for another belt soon. We've got a lot of things happening in the gym, but it keeps everybody motivated. So these guys are some of my main sparring partners as well. So I think the coaching and the fighting is kind of supplement each other at the moment.
Yeah.
While it's very easy for it to go the other way where it becomes more stressful. But I've got a pretty good team. My brother and Jordan, these guys also help coach the amateurs, so I don't have to stress about it when it's closer to my fight.
And has it changed the way that you train and that you go about your business? What impact has it had on you as a fighter through coaching?
I think it's given me a new reason to, like you're talking about motivation. Give me a new purpose. I felt like I have to become as best as I can become the best I can be, so that I can coach these guys to be the best they can be. And it's kind of given me like that a second wind in my career. Becoming a coach, becoming a father, and things like that gives me new reasons to train so hard and push so much and sacrifice everything I do. So I feel at first I contemplated retiring at like 30, just because I felt like I couldn't get the balance right. But then once I figured it out, and I got that balance in my life, I feel like it's actually propelled me so much further than I thought I could have gotten.
What do you think makes a good coach?
I think a good coach, there's a lot of things. I think a lot of people get muddled up between teaching and coaching. A coach has to be a good teacher as well. You've got to know technique. You've got expert knowledge in the technique. But I think a lot of guys are very good teachers. But when it comes to actual coaching, that's like understanding the athletes, knowing that every athlete's a little bit different, knowing how to talk to people. Certain guys need certain ways to be fired up. Certain guys need certain goals you've got to set. And I think a good coach is someone that can identify those things between different type of athletes and give them slightly different type of approaches, different goals. I've got certain guys I'll set certain type of goals to, knowing that they work better with lots of small goals. Other guys, you give them more like simple targets. Some guys it's just motivation. You just need to give them a bit of a boost. So I think it's learning when, how to do that. And timing it, because if you're kind of just constantly try to push your guys all the time, it burns them out. And it's just knowing how to manage all that. And I feel like I've gotten much better at it over the years, and the results are starting to show.
There must be fighters that you like to pull things from to add to your own game, but is there coaches that you recognize and that you kind of follow after?
Yeah, Faraz Zahabi's a very good example. Someone I watch a lot of. I listen to a lot of his podcasts and things. I think a lot of his style of coaching is very good. But I always just all coaches, even my own coaches like Jordan in the gym, my brother. Whenever I'm doing a session with another coach, I'm always just watching how they deliver things, the things that they're good at. I just steal their styles. And I feel like over the years, I've met so many great coaches, even since I was young. I've been reflecting back on how I was coached by certain guys and the things that were good and the things that weren't so good. And I feel like that's made me into a much better coach, because I don't just look at the techniques that I'm learning. I study how they taught me it or how they teach it to a class, just the terms they use. And I pick all that stuff up and and I make it my own.
Perfect, man. So you're now a Cage Warriors champion, and everything goes according to plan. You'll have defended it later on this month. Have you thought about afterwards? Is maybe life outside Cage Warriors?
Yeah, I don't like to look past any fights because at that moment, this is the biggest fight of my life at the time that it's here. So I always try to focus on each fight as it's there. So I don't try to, I always have my end goal, but I don't try to look past the fight. But yes, I do. My goal is to get to the UFC. I want to make a statement here and I want the UFC to take note and I want that opportunity. I feel like I deserve that opportunity. And I also want to make history being the first Bangladeshi born athlete in the UFC. I think it could be huge for the country's development of the sport. And I'd love to be that a part of that. I mean, I'm confident if I don't make it to the UFC, that one of my fighters will. That's something that I want to pursue. Wherever I get to, I want my my students to surpass whatever I do. But I'm just trying to set that benchmark really high. These camps have been pretty tough. Like this time around, I was going to struggle, but luckily I've managed to get a few sponsors who have like helped me out. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna give a shout out to them.
Go for it.
Yeah, I've been sponsored by Spice Lounge in Durham. He's covered all my expenses for my extra cornerman because they don't cover that cost. So I managed to take my extra cornerman while I was needing my, I need my 2 cornermen there for the fights this big. And I've also got like Fullwell Property Services and NNR Joinery. These guys have been sponsoring me non-stop since the last fight and helped me with training costs all the way through. And I've also got Fight Connect, which is going to be a new sort of like a platform for like fighters getting matched, and that's coming soon. And then Hard Life, who always sorts my kit out, my walkout gear. I always look the best when I'm coming out. And I've also got this time sponsored Northeast Ear Clinic. One of the best ear clinics in the Northeast. They've sponsored me, helped me with some costs as well. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So like right now, what I do is I take like 4 weeks off like work. Pretty much like I take 80% of my work off. I only do small amount of coaching, and just so that I can be fully focused on the fight. And that's what I'm doing right now. And that's, I think, why I'm feeling so good. So, to shout out to those guys because they make it possible.
Fantastic, man. I think people don't, when you see someone fighting in the cage, you don't maybe realize how many people are helping them, behind them, and, how many people it takes to get them ready for that big moment,
Definitely. People think it's known as an individual sport. So people think it's just, that fighter, but really the process that goes behind it, all your sparring partners, all the guys that are helping you out, your coaches, even certain people in your family will be helping you out. But yes, I think, and then the sponsors, there's so many people behind the scenes that are doing so much for you. And they deserve all the credit that they get because I always call it a team sport, even though it's an individual sport. I always feel like it's team sport. You go in there as a team, the prep that you go through. So it definitely feels, to me, this sport feels more like a team sport.
Yeah. And, we were just talking about the UFC there. What do you think? Do you think you need to do any more? Because like, it seemed that, once you got a Cage Warriors title, at least in the past, that would be enough to get to the UFC. But now, we see Hardwick having to go through the Contender Series, and, we see guys from America, maybe not the highest level, getting signed to the organization. Do you think you have to do more, or do you think that your record speaks for itself?
I think for me, my record now speaks for itself. I've literally beaten everybody I could in pretty much Europe. I've pretty much cleared the division, so I feel like I deserve a shot now. I think I've done enough, proven myself. Like I said, there's only a few guys that have beat me in the UFC, and so I just feel like I deserve that shot. Whatever way I've got to do. But yeah, the sport is changing. The UFC, the way they assign people are, always changing a little bit. They're trying to get more guys through that Contender Series. I think they're usually targeting the more younger fighters through the Contender Series. But I just want that shot, however it comes. I just need that opportunity to kind of prove to the world that I deserve to be in there.
And how do you think Oban Elliott and George Hardwick could get on in the Contender Series?
I think he'll do well. I think George is really good. He's quite awkward, and I think he's just got a really good mindset. He just performs every time, pulls it off. So I think George, I've been watching quite a bit, and I think he'll get in the UFC.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck when the fight rolls around. I'll certainly be watching.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
Thank you, man.